Erin Blanchfield versus Maycee Barber, a very important fight in the women's flyweight division, and it has been a long time since we saw Maycee Barber in action. In fact, the last time we saw her in action was UFC 299, March of 2024. Over a year now. What is it? Almost 15 months, if my math is correct. But she is back, and we are excited about that. And so we say hello to Maycee Barber, who's kind enough to join us. Hello, Maycee. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great, Ariel. How are you?
Oh, you look like you're very relaxed in a nice setting. Big week
I did
for
this
you.
for you. I
Oh,
set
I
it up for
appreciate
you.
this. Wow, thank you. I appreciate that very much. It's good to have you on. And you are fighting this weekend, yes?
Yes, I'm fighting this weekend.
Because I did see Erin saying like, oh, I don't know. Is she going to show up? Is she not going to show up? Did you see these comments?
I did, and I think they're pretty dumb. I mean, why it doesn't make a lot of sense for her to say that she thinks I'm going to pull out of the fight when I've had like this history of pulling out of fights. I've pulled out of two fights total, and both were for some pretty serious things. I mean, the first time that I pulled out of a fight ever was I tore my ankle in like 5 different places. So I think that was actually the fight that I was supposed to. She was filling in for. I was supposed to fight Montana De La Rosa, and Montana tore her ankle, and then I got rematched with Erin, and then I tore my ankle, and it just was like a weird coincidence that we both tore our ankles, and then we got rebooked together. So kind of a weird thing for her to say, I think.
Maybe just trying to stir the pot or get into your head or, I don't know, rile you up.
I think she's just trying to figure out what she can say bad about me, because I think she can't really talk anything bad about my style or anything about my marketability. I think it's just mainly that's the only thing she can say about me, is that she thinks I've might not show up to the fight. Versus her, I think her fighting style is terrible. And I mean, there's a lot of things you could say about Erin Blanchfield, that she's a boring fighter, that she has a terrible fighting style. And I think the only thing for her to say about me is that she thinks I might not show up.
Why do you think she has a terrible fighting style?
It's boring. I mean, have you watched it?
Yeah, but you're the pro
I mean,
fighter.
do you think she's an exciting fighter?
She's a very good fighter. She's a very good
She's
fighter.
a good fighter. Is she an exciting fighter, though?
Yeah, I mean, that's a trick question. I don't know. I'm not a fighter. I don't like to comment on whether or not people are
I think
exciting
your
or
lack
not.
of answer tells us an answer.
But were you impressed with the way in which she rebounded from the loss to Mano Fiorot? That was a bounce back win for her.
For her to fight Rose?
Well, just like she won, that was not a good performance in a big fight against Mano. One would say that Mano was quite dominant in that fight, and I thought that the Rose win, the bounce back, if you will, getting her mojo back, was impressive.
Yeah, I think that Manon exposed Erin's holes, and then I think that she was gifted the win over Rose. I think that Rose won the fight against Erin. Honestly, I think that she beat her in the striking, and I think she got lucky in that fight.
Lucky in the sense that the judges scored in her favor.
Yeah.
When you didn't.
No, I think a lot of people didn't. I think that Rose is on her way out, and I think the UFC knows that, and I think a lot of people know that. And so, what good would it do to give Rose the decision over Erin?
Right.
So I think that they gave Erin the decision over Rose because Erin's the younger fighter.
You think that goes into it? Like, you think when these guys are sitting or gals are sitting around the cage scoring fights, they think about that?
Not sure exactly what they're thinking, but I think that there's some biased judges for sure.
Okay. By the way, the last time we spoke was in April of last year, right after your very scary, hospital stay, 9 days. You were very sick. You were afraid. At the time, I know some time has passed, you still had told us that you weren't sure what exactly happened. They thought maybe it was like a severe case of strep, some staph involved. Do you know now what exactly? Because like some of these images, this is terrifying stuff, and you don't need me to tell you that. You lived it. Do you know? Do you know what exactly went wrong here?
We still don't have an answer as to what happened.
Wow.
No, I've talked to multiple doctors. We've had multiple answers as to like different pieces of what happened. But there was never like a definitive answer as to, oh, this is exactly what you had, and this is, that it'll never come back. Like, it's just, I've been healthy and I got cleared to fight. And so I'm like, all right, I'm going to take a fight and I'm going to go for it. And I'm just going to plan that it's never going to happen again.
By the way, that photo that we showed of your legs, what is that? What is going on there?
Um, in that photo, my leg was, like, swollen, like, twice the size of my other leg,
Jeez.
and I honestly I couldn't even walk. I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't like, I it was extremely painful. They didn't know again, they don't know what it was. They just, were trying multiple different antibiotics. I think I had, like, 15 different IVs to try to figure out what one would get rid of the infection, and, again, they didn't know what infection it was because when they were giving me antibiotics, it was so bad that they were trying to treat it without knowing what it was. But every time they would treat it, they would give me something new, and nothing was changing the situation that was happening with my leg. But then they were also running tests at the same time. So while they were running tests, they were like, well, it could come back positive, it could come back negative because we were already treating this MRSA, um, blood clots, like, they checked me for everything, and they still, like, nothing came up.
And so how long did it take for you
It's
to
pretty terrifying, honestly.
Yes, no, I know, and you said that in one of your posts that you were looking at the people coming to visit you thinking that might be the last time you see them, which is a terrifying thought, family members,
Yeah,
friends. How long did it take for you to
yeah.
feel like you do now, meaning as close to 100%, like it was all behind you? How long did it take?
Uh, honestly, it was months. Like, I thought that so coming out of the hospital, I thought that I was gonna be clear after, like, a month or whatever because I was on the IV antibiotics, but then I developed pneumonia, so they wanted to get me out of the hospital even though I still had the infection. So once they figured out a specific antibiotic that would start to get rid of it, they were like, "Okay, we're gonna give it to you on IV for, like, 3 days, and then we're also gonna get you out of the hospital so that the pneumonia doesn't get worse." And then they put me on an oral antibiotic, and I had that for, like, I think it was, like, 3 rounds of that. Um, and the infection didn't go away until, like, completely away, like, my whole leg still like, even it still has some, like, veins, like, that look really weird and, like, some damage from, like, how much it swelled, but after that, I think it was, like, 2 or 3 months, and then the leg part was gone, but the side effects from the antibiotics and the sickness, whatever it was that was inside my body was still there. And so I think that when I tried to book a fight, um, it was just too fast, you know. But fighting in July, August, September, I think was way too fast. And I tried to push my body, but you know, like fighters that any fighter that is training is not just like we're not just going to work out. We're trying to push our body to the furthest limit, furthest distance that we can. And um it just wrecked my body again, and so then I got sick again, and then that's when I had to pull out.
That's the Rose
So
fight in July that you're talking
that
about.
yeah, that was the rose fight
Okay.
in July, but I think it took me all the way until, like, December, January, until I
Wow.
was like, "Okay, I'm good." Yeah.
In the midst of all that, like September, October, November, are you thinking you may never be good again? Were you worried that your career was sort of hanging in the air?
I mean, truthfully, anytime that someone has, like, an infection or an injury or any kind of thing like that where you're like you don't have answers, it's one of the most frustrating things, but two, like, you don't want to go through that again. And so I definitely, like, I don't want to put my body through that. Like, I want to have a family, I want to have kids, I want to have a life after fighting. And so for me to go through all of that and have people, not just people but doctors, and some of the best doctors tell me we don't know what it is, for that to happen, it was just really mind boggling and, like, hard for me to comprehend. And then also be like, am I going to be able to train again? Am I going to be able to fight again? Because one training session and you're back to feeling sick. And so I know what it takes to be the best in the world and to continue to push to going to that belt. And it's not just going to take a little bit, you know, it's going to take 100%, it's going to take 110%. And so I don't ever want to do anything halfway. So for me, if I can't train 110%, I don't want to go and step in there with the best girls in the world and think that I'm going to chase down a title when I can't train the way I know I need to. And so that was kind of what I was scared of is am I going to be able to train the way I know I need to, and the way I know I want to walk into there and feel confident against every single one of these girls. And so for me to be able to say that I can do that now is it's been really good, and it's been a breath of fresh air to be able to feel that way. But for a while it was scary.
How was your mental health?
It's great. My mental health is great. Life is great.
I would say,
Training's
sorry,
great.
I don't mean now. Now you look, I meant back then.
Oh,
Back then.
back then
Yeah.
it was just it was hard. It was not great because I don't like not knowing things, and I don't like having no answers. Like, I like to have a problem that I can fix, and I like to have steps that I can take to make things better. And when I'm being told, "Hey, we don't know what it is. We don't know what's going on. All you have to do is just rest." And then I'm resting and I'm like, there's days that I feel good and then I try and train and then I don't feel good. For me, it's like, it's really hard because it's not just for me, it's for anybody. It's hard, you know, even the people around me, you're like, oh, you look great. You look like you feel fine. But then, oh, the labs come back and they're not good. So it was really challenging. And it was one of those things where it's like, you just have to really take into like hold close the things that matter the most, which is like family and the fact that I am alive, you know, like I am still alive and I'm still here. And I have a lot to be thankful for. And so that's the things that I just like really try to keep in mind is like those things so that, you know, you don't go too crazy. And then knowing that I have a whole team of people that when I was healthy, I would be able to train again. And those people were waiting and they weren't just like, oh, she's gone, she's never gonna fight again, you know, like those people were waiting for the day that we could go and train again. So um all of that together really helped me get through it all.
Just had a birthday. Happy belated birthday. 27,
Yes.
right?
Thank you. Yep. 27.
So much more to go, so much more to do, so much more to accomplish. And people, there you are celebrating your birthday. I like the crown or the thing you were wearing on your head.
Thanks.
Um, some might forget that you have won 6 in a row. You're one of the best flyweights in the world. And certainly with Valentina at the top, she has fought a lot of the people, you know, ahead of you and in the division. So I don't think you are too far off from being in that title picture. Did you watch her last fight? And if so, what did you think of her performance against Manon?
I did. I think that Menon was, you know, Manon went in there with full confidence, and Valentina is just the athlete that she is. She's such a dominant champion, and I think a lot of people counted her out, just because you know everyone's like, oh, she's getting older. But I mean, Manon is around the same age, I think, and so honestly, I wasn't surprised the outcome. I did think it would be a little bit tougher of a fight, but I wasn't surprised that Valentina was able to do what she's been able to do this whole time. Um, it was a great fight.
It seems like they might be moving in the direction of Zhang Weili against Valentina. A, do you like that? And B, do you think Zhang can beat Valentina at 125?
I was actually told that a while ago, and I honestly I think that it's for me as a competitor in the flyweight division. Obviously, I'm like I want a title shot after I beat Erin. But also, I think that it's cool to see that they keep trying to unite the belts or have like a double champ. Um, I don't know if Weili beats Valentina though. To be honest, I don't know if she does. I think that Valentina is fast. I know that Weili has the power, but Valentina is fast, and I think that Valentina is such a dominant champion. Um, and honestly, I'd have to go back and watch Weili a lot more because I haven't paid too much attention to her just because I've been so focused on my own division that I'm like I only
Yeah.
focus on that one, and I have one goal in mind.
Well, you know what's interesting? I feel like if they do that fight, you win your fight. I feel like maybe you versus Natalia Silva is a potential number one contender fight. She also won on that card in Montreal a couple weeks ago. Do you have some sort of other roadmap as to how you get that title shot? Do you think that makes sense?
You know, I don't think that either one of us is going to want to fight each other just to go and be a number one contender. I think that one of us will want to go and get for the belt. And then after that, then the other one will go for the belt, whether it's her defending her belt or me defending my belt. Um, and that's how we fight each other. But I don't really know if us fighting for the number one contender spot is what will happen,
Okay.
because I feel
You
like
hate
both
it.
of us have proved ourselves worthy of a title shot.
You hate it. You hate that suggestion. You think I'm
I hate it. Yes,
100% wrong. Okay.
I
That was a
hate that
very
idea.
nice way of saying it. Thank you. A very diplomatic way. So what does happen to you if you win on
You're
Saturday?
welcome. If I win on Saturday, I'm planning on calling for or when I win on Saturday, I plan on calling for a title shot.
Okay, that's the plan. And do you think that they will oblige? Like, do you think it's realistic?
That's the plan. Yeah, I do.
Is this because you have intel or just because
I don't really think I need to say anything more.
Okay.
I think that will be enough.
Okay. Has someone told you this? Win this fight and you're getting a title shot?
I cannot disclose that information to you.
Okay. Well, this is good. This is good. Do you feel like you need an emphatic win, or is any type of win enough? Sometimes style points do matter.
Well, you already know that every time I go out to fight, I try to hurt people.
Yes.
And my plan is to hurt Erin and to make her bleed a lot, and to finish her. And I think that that's a good statement. And I don't want a decision. I think that all of Erin's fights go to boring decisions. So my plan is to finish her.
Okay. How do you feel about fighting at the Apex?
It's okay. I mean, I know I like that it's in and out. I don't love that all the people that want to come and watch can't come and watch, because it's really hard to get into, and there's only a certain amount of people that can come. And I love the energy of the crowd. You know, like when I fought in Miami and San Antonio and all the places I've been able to fight, like the energy of the crowd is just something that I love and I feed off of. But also the messed up side of me enjoys the rawness of the Apex. Like I enjoy the fact that like it's so quiet that you can hear a punch land, you can hear them breathing, you can like it just makes everything so much more intense. And I know that like the last few times I fought at the Apex, I remember one time where, like I made one of the girls bleed, and you can smell the blood. And I feel like in the big arenas, like everything is just there's just so much going on that you can't have that same intimacy in the octagon. And so I have a love-hate relationship with it.
What about smaller cage? Do you like that? Dislike that? Indifferent?
You know, honestly, I don't think a lot about it. I let the coaches plan for that, and I let them make the adjustments, and then I just adapt, because it is what it is. Like whether it's a big arena or like a big cage or a smaller one, like I can't change it either way. So we've just learned to adapt and change the way that we need to fight and train for that. And so that's exactly what we've done.
I saw recently you got to throw out the first pitch at a Rockies game, but I can't find the footage of whether you threw a strike, if it was a ball, if it bounced, if it was a wild pitch. How did you do? Can you tell us? What's the truth
It
here?
was not. It was not a Conor McGregor ball.
Okay, that's what I was wanting. You know, I didn't want to call anyone out.
No, I threw no. I threw a strike. I think everyone was worried. I mean, honestly, I was worried too, because I threw the free throw for the Nuggets,
Oh yeah.
and I was not. I was so under pressure, like, oh, 3, 2, 1, ready, go. And then I threw it, and I didn't put enough arm behind it, so I airballed it.
You
And
airballed it?
I got my get back on the Rockies game.
Damn, you airballed the free
I
throw?
did.
Oh my God.
And
Wasn't it for charity
I
or
was like,
something?
please don't post that. Yeah,
Oh.
I told them that I don't yeah. Yeah. I think they still donated though.
Oh my dear. It's a lot of pressure. It actually is a lot further. And then you have all those fans in back of the net, which kind of throws off how it looks, right?
And you know, people probably won't believe it when I say that we went and we were practicing the free throws, and I was making 9 out of 10
Mm,
baskets from
mm.
the free throw line. And then I don't know what it was, but like honestly, it really is a different situation. Like the I think the depth perception too, like the fact that it's not up against a wall, like it's right in the middle, you know?
Yeah.
I think that, and then maybe a little bit of anxiousness, like I've never done that before. And then also the pressure. I'm not good at doing things under pressure. I like to take my time with things. And they were like, all right, on 3, 2, 1, you have to go. And then they were like, 3, 2, 1, go. I was like, oh, crap. And I tried and I missed it.
I like how you say you don't like doing things under pressure. You fight in a cage wearing 4-ounce gloves and no shoes. I would say that's a little more pressure.
Okay, under pressure is fine. It's just rushed. I don't like to be
Got it.
rushed.
All right, fair.
Like if you tell me you have 5 seconds to knock this girl out, I'll go for it. But I'd much rather like take my time and hurt her a little bit before I go for that. If that makes sense.
I got you. Yep, that makes sense. I did want to call out though with the first pitch, which you say was a strike, and we'll believe you. You elected to not stand on the mound. You did the off the mound.
They told me not to.
Oh, interesting. Okay, and you.
I promise you, they told me not to. They said, "Do us a favor and stand right in front of it." So I stood right in front of it.
They were protecting
I don't know
you.
if maybe they didn't have confidence in me. Maybe they were like, "We don't believe this little girl can just throw a ball straight down," you know?
And you
Maybe they were a little nervous.
You didn't say like, "Hey, I'm a mound thrower. I throw heat. Like I could go over there."
No, I didn't say anything.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I was like, all right, they told me what to do. I'm just gonna listen to what they say. You know, maybe I should just break the rules a little bit and do what I want. But no, next time I'll throw it from the mound. I'll make you proud.
And what are we doing with the motocross? And how safe are we with that? I mean, like, are you taking this? Are you going crazy with this stuff, or are these just photos? What is happening here?
I haven't been on a bike since in a while, honestly, but I like to ride. I grew up riding bikes and four-wheelers and on the lake. That's just something I grew up doing and I love doing all the time. Um, but no, I promise you, I've been safe. It's something that like the coaches are like, "Hey, no bikes, no this, no that." And I'm like, "All right." Yeah. Especially my coach Guilherme, he's always like, "Stay off of those." So no, it's just something I love to do, and it's gets me away, gets me out, and keeps me outside. And but I'm careful.
Okay, yeah, because you've got a lot more.
But as soon as this fight's over, you better believe I'm going camping, and we're gonna be on bikes.
Where do you go camping? Where's the spot? What state? Colorado or outside?
I actually don't know where we're gonna go.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'll let you know where we decide to go.
All right. Yeah. You must be very excited.
Get some good pictures though.
We look forward to that. We look forward to your return.
I'm very excited. Yes.
Safe travels. Looking forward to the performance. Looking forward to the fight. Looking forward to the call out on the microphone after. Looking forward to all of it. Well done. Very happy, most importantly, that you're healthy, that you're feeling good, and that you are back in full force. So welcome back. Happy belated once again, and good luck this Saturday. Thank you, Maycee.
Thank you.
There she is, the great Maycee Barber, joining us back and healthy. Sometimes when you do those interviews where there's a delay, it's like when you watch the news, like the cable, news networks, whether it's CNN, Frank's favorite, Fox News, Jordan's favorite, MSNBC, and they're in they're in.
I'm actually on to Newsmax these days. Give it the program.
They're in. There it is. They're like they're in the Middle East, and they're like, appreciate it. And then you have to wait like 10 seconds for the reply.
Yeah,
it's a tricky game. Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
I love when
Thanks for having me.
Moved on to the second question, and then they finally answer the first one.
It's a tough one. It's also tough because usually when you're kind of having a conversation, you'll speak over each other, but then they'll like respond to something you said before, and it's like, you got to just shut up and let the thing kind of.
I feel like
out.
you sussed out the situation and adapted.
Yeah,
you handled it well.
You got to adapt. But it is good that she is back. She says she's getting a title shot with a win. I'm curious to see how that plays out. And she seemed quite confident when she said that. Of course, there is Natalia Silva, who, as of right this moment, is ranked number 1. Shevchenko. I always think it's weird. I think the champion should be 1, if you ask me. But anyway, she's the number 1 contender.
I like them. It would be bad for the UFC's optics if their champion was not 1. So I understand why by default you go champion 1 for the
you
external
think that's why
parties.
they do that? I never thought of that.
For sure.
Imagine
Because
like Bilal was ranked 7th.
would
when he was
Hamza
champ.
not be ahead of DDP? He's a betting favorite, right? There'd be people who would be ranking him number 1. So you get into situations like that. I think it makes sense to go, okay, champ, this is the person you're all chasing, and then rankings under.
Well, Natalia's 1, Fiorot is 2, she just lost. Grasso is 3, 2 losses to the champ. Blanchfield, Barber 4-5. So this is a proper, top 5.
Yeah, I feel like Natalia Silva gets it. Then there's also Zhang Weili.
By the way, I liked my Barber versus Silva fight.
Yeah.
If they book Zhang versus Chevy.
Yeah.
If they do that, that's the perfect resolution.
They're not going to both wait. Because if they book that fight, those two are fighting in the fall, right? And then Barber's going to wait for the winner of that?
Yeah.
That's I mean, she may
be Silva's waiting. Could be Natalia Silva.
Yeah.
It's a rightful number 1 contender fight too.
Silva Barber on that card.
Yeah. I said my hot take last week, I want to say, like, we don't have enough times where it's like, yeah, I know they're both on the rise. I know they can both get a title shot, but make them fight and let's see who gets it.
Yeah.
I like that fight. If she wins.
Jasmine right there too, number 6.
Jasmine's right there.
If they give it to Silva, then maybe they do Barber Jasmine. Barber definitely wouldn't like that. I was thinking of mentioning Jasmine, but I was like, oh, she didn't like.
What do you
Silva
do if Blanchfield wins?
Same spot.
All right.
Yeah, we're just leaning towards her right now, but I kind of feel like they're in the same spot. No. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.